Hello and welcome to today's cryptocurrency technical analysis, where we're going to be going through the Bitcoin chart here, the current resistance that we're up against, and taking a quick brief look at Ethereum, obviously breaching through $3,000. What are they? Yeah, what an achievement for Ethereum. That's very nice indeed. Let's start off here with Bitcoin. And in my opinion, the the pretty mighty level of resistance that we are up against right now, and surprise, surprise, it is the CC level, yeah. So we're right up against the top almost of the CC. Okay, this we can see we hit the low of it. We got a pretty substantial pullback, I want to say, for pullback that lasted. If we zoom into the 1 hour chart, you can see we hit the bottom level of the CC. We got a pullback of around 3.5%, which lasted 2 days. So it really was 2 days of grinding down price action, fairly quote unquote boring now. And what we really saw to end it was this level of resistance coming back into support, and we can see that we hit the bottom of our CC level, grinded down over the course of 2 days before ultimately coming to this resistance level, flipping into support and, holding it relatively well for the course of a few days and bam, moving up to the upside. And what can we see what we've moved up to now? Well, now we're up at the top of the CC level. Nice wick kind of through it, but nevertheless rejecting from the top of that CC now. I always say to myself, what's the best trade here? Is it a long? Is it a short? Well, I think you can already know if you know how I trade by now. Of course, there's no way that I'm longing into the top of the CC resistance. That for me is the only trade possible, is either a short position or just no trade at all. Depends on the time frame you're trading, your experience, whether you think you can manage that trade. Personally, I'm happy to take shorts off the top of the CC. And we obviously did in the end get a little bit of a pullback here. Where can we see that we bounced off of? Well, if we take our fib locally from that low up to the high, we can see that we come right into the top of that CC for another bounce. Yeah. So just as we kind of hit the bottom of the CC here and we got our pullback, well, here we can see we hit the low of the CC there, and we got a bounce. So, the CC on every time frame, pretty nice, no? But if we remove that a second, we can also see a secondary level of confluence that we had here when we look at our sort of this resistance, yeah? So we can see resistance, resistance, resistance. When we bring that across, we can see we went resistance into support. So we had a resistance support bounce, or simultaneously, of course, having that top of the CC there. So that's what you call a relatively nice confluence for a bounce there. And surprise, surprise, what did we run into here? Well, we went support, support, support back into resistance. So I mean, hard to argue that this isn't technically trading very well indeed right now. Bitcoin, I want to say it's relatively slow. The moves aren't happening instantly, but nevertheless, you're still having you're still having technical trades here. And what do you want? Do you want the excitement and the rushes, or do you just want like a nice relaxed style of trading? And this is, I truly believe, like a pretty relaxing style of trading. It's not that difficult, and the levels are being respected really well. Or simultaneously, we're having absolute insane moves to the upside on Ethereum. As you all know, I am definitely long on that one, expecting very good things as we breach 3,000. So it's like Ethereum coming up to around that 3,200. We obviously breached it slightly. So Ethereum coming up to around, well, actually, let me just confirm that the current high of that move, yeah, 3,200, still not the same. So yeah, 3,200, while Bitcoin bashing into that around 59,100 level. So you have to think, like, what's, like I said at the start, what's the best trade here? We can say, like, if you're trading on the 1 minute time frame. So if you are comfortable being a low term time frame, quick in and out trader, of course, you can be, this is what I say, like, I would, I would openly say I would never long into the CC, but you have to remember, don't take my words literally as if I would never long into the CC, because I do think that was an acceptable scalp long position. Yeah, because you went into the CC, you went into the support resistance flip. So that for me is an acceptable long trade. And you might think, doesn't that contradict what you just said of you'd never long in the CC? We have to remember, there's a big emphasis of my trading on the time frames here. I'm talking about a trade here within the CC that's a long that might last, 5 minutes. I wouldn't look here to open a swing trade, because when you come out to like the 4 hour time frame, of course, this isn't an area where I'd look to swing long. So you have to remember, it's very, very it's very time frame dependent, let's say. And if you are looking for longs into the CC, you obviously are looking to, they will last anywhere between maybe 1 to 10 minutes long, and the shorts, you can have a different perspective on the shorts where you could get into a, a scalp trade per se, and you have the opportunity, a higher opportunity of that ending as a swing trade. Whereas a scalp long here, I wouldn't look to hold it as a swing trade. No, I'm in and out. Whereas a short, I have the possibility of thinking to myself, okay, I potentially have a nice swing trade up from that. So I think that's really important to understand the time frame. I know this is probably a little bit confusing for the person just getting into trading, but this is like how I love to trade. Currently, we're just seeing a little bit of, sideways action. I've already checked it all this morning. I've been trading it. There's no divergences forming, unless it's changed over the past 5 minutes. Yeah, we still have like no major divergences. There's no major what we could say. There's no major like strength, neither weakness here. It's totally neutral. So when it's like absolutely neutral like this, you just have to go off the levels that you're given. Yeah. Which I think is makes it relatively easier. There's nothing to try and second guess yourself. It's just you literally just have the levels. You've got no extra heads up on the order flow. Why could this be? Because generally it's giving nice heads up recently. So one argument could be that today in England anyway is a holiday. I don't know about the US or anywhere else, but at least in England today is a holiday. So that would explain the lower volume, especially now we're trading London session. Yeah, so London session, or London's closed. London's gone on holiday today. So that explains to me why we're seeing such low volume this morning. Because it's a holiday in the UK. So kind of makes sense why London session is low volume. So we might see this volume pick up going into the US Open, which is in a 3 hours time. I'd like that. I'd like to see a volume increase and either see us, push through now 59,100 and get some real strength above the CC, or alternatively, it remains as resistance. I think our next 4 hour close is going to be pretty, pretty pivotal in my opinion. We got 1 hour 45 left of this 4 hour close, and to see whether we close above the CC level or whether we close below it. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's bearish per se just because we close below, but I think it would show a sign of strength if we close above that. So I'm not bearish if we close below it, really. I'm just thinking if we close above it, for me, that's a little stronger than what it would be if we close below, in a direct comparison. So that's really what I'm thinking about on Bitcoin currently. Obviously, Ethereum, what can we say? Ethereum, long on every single way possible that I can be. Long on the USDT, obviously long on USD. Still hold an allocation of spot on this one. I think it's absolutely insanely bullish. Guys paying for their champions subscription, XO subscriptions. We even got people from all the way over from Japan, members of the community, and absolutely smashing the Ethereum trade. So I think Ethereum is treating I think everybody's long on ETH right now. It's not a lie. It was a very easy trade. So, everybody makes money in a bull market. It's not really that hard. Let's be honest. It was a really kind of an easy trade, this, but nevertheless, Ethereum over $3,000, absolutely insane strength. Very, 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 very nice. Yeah, I mean, what can we say? Obviously, we've been looking at the Ethereum BTC pair, and we had that target of the weekly order block. Of course, we're coming right into that weekly order block. So, like I say on Bitcoin, yeah, like I say on Bitcoin, did you want to long into the CC? Hey, this is the thing. I'm going to say, like, I wouldn't long into that CC resistance. And then, you're going to get somebody that says, hey, I longed the CC resistance and we pushed up higher. I made money. I mean, there's a difference between making money and actually having good trades. And for me, like, this isn't a good trade longing here for a swing trade. The time to long was at support levels, not at, resistances. Even if you push through, it's still a bad trade. And it's the same, I think, on Ethereum. Like, could you buy Ethereum and we just keep going up here? And you're like, hey, I bought into resistance and I made money. I made a good trade. My argument is no. If you buy Ethereum here, it's like totally FOMO, and you're like, it's just in my opinion, even if you make money on it, it's a bad trade and it's a bad habit to get into. There's no way that this is a sustainable way of trading if you buy, these sort of moves on ETH. There has been so many opportunities to buy the dip on Ethereum, even over the past 7 days. So there really has been like no excuse. And also just the fact, I would never, ever, ever, ever in my life buy Ethereum here for $3,200. It's just, I'm not going to do it. Doesn't, So I think that's just a thing to bear in mind. If you're not in ETH, I think you've likely missed it, to be honest with you. And then you got to wait for a pullback, or at least wait for some consolidation to buy. Because if you're buying into these green candles like this, it's just, yeah, maybe it works out, but you're totally gambling. Yeah, you're throwing the dice. You might as well wait for a high probability setup to come to you now. Um, you know, yeah, that's my opinion on Ethereum. Of course, it looks really good, but I obviously would not even entertain the thoughts of buying this right now. And Bitcoin, I think arguably, well, I think we can just see how it goes out at CC. Obviously, it's showing strength. Or what we could say is it's showing no weakness per se. Yeah, it's showing no weakness at the moment. We had our first resistance support flip, first EC, we got the bounce. Yeah, now we'd like to see this SR claimed. So instead of rejecting here, we can see another move up. If we continue this higher highs and higher lows, great. We can look for 59,100. If we reject it, well, we can look back down towards 58k support. So it's very much local day trading time frame stuff. It's nothing. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. I think you can be open to trading this long, trading this short. Just trade the levels. They're very much well respected, and what are we here for? We're here to make money, and I think it's pretty easy to do that today. So that's my analysis here. What I would say, everybody, is stop what you're doing right now. Stop what you're doing right now. Go over to twitch.tv/chart champions. Give us a follow on Twitch. I'm going to do a live stream for you on Twitch where I'm going to do a really cool one. I've got a bit of a surprise, and we are going to go through Bitcoin. We are going to go through technical analysis and be monitoring all these things as they're happening. So yeah, go follow us on Twitch right now. If you aren't on Twitch, go sign up to it. Go follow Chart Champions. You're gonna enjoy the decision, and we're gonna take a look at Bitcoin. So yeah, I'll do that on live stream with you over on Twitch. I'll upload this video now, and yeah, I hope that you've thoroughly enjoyed it. Of course. No trading advice in the video, just entertainment, educational purposes. Of course, you all love the legal disclaimers, so make sure you understand them. And I hope that you have an absolutely brilliant day. Thank you ever so much, everybody, and continue to crush these charts. Even the community all the way from Japan, absolutely wonderful. That is worldwide, exactly as predicted. Team, thank you ever so much. Cheers and goodbye.